30F, feel uneasy about my boyfriend's 30M, mother and feel like I need space. How do I get past this? Hi all. So my boyfriend and I have been together for a year and a half now. I've met his mom, who is 67, a few times, and she has always been very sweet with me and our interactions pleasant. But a recent situation has left me feeling uneasy about her. For context, my boyfriend is white American and I'm South Korean American. My parents have always emphasized community, generosity, and hospitality, which are huge parts of our culture. Because of this, whenever my BF and I visit his mom, I bring back a lot of things that she and his siblings would like from New York so we can all enjoy them together: bread, pastries, desserts, snacks, etc. My family and friends used to do this whenever visiting, so seems normal to me. On my BF's mom's birthday and on occasions that I know are special to her, like Easter, I created gift baskets and bought her things she would like and shipped them to her to let her know that we were thinking of her. Additionally, I text her every couple of weeks to keep her posted on what my BF and I have been up to and check on her so she doesn't feel as lonely or left out. My BF's father passed away a few years ago, so his mom lives alone and his brother and sister live within a few miles from her. Throughout all of this, she says thank you, and that's really about it, which is fine, but I always found it to be kind of basic and bare minimum. She will express her gratitude, but for example, when it was my birthday and I happened to be at her house with my boyfriend, she just said, "Happy birthday." I wasn't expecting anything grand, but just felt that was interesting, because wouldn't you want someone to feel special on their birthday, especially if the person had made sure to make your family members feel special on their birthdays? Anyway, this year, at the beginning of 2024, his mom found out that she would need to undergo surgery on her head to take out a clogged artery. She needed a caretaker after the surgery since she's alone. This was a stressful time for my BF's family, understandably, so I asked how I could support them and help out. He and his mom asked for me to cook for those days, and I was happy to help because his mom said that the doctor told her it would take 3 to 4 weeks for her to recover and that she wouldn't be able to do anything. So my boyfriend and I agreed to visit and stay with her for 4 days. To make this trip happen, I took off 2 days from work, left my 2 dogs with dog sitters for 4 days, packed my own supplies and spices to take to her place, bought the groceries to cook, and prepared extra so that she would have some for herself after we left. I also knew that my boyfriend's brother and his brother's GF would be there for one of the days, so his mom asked for me to cook extra on that day since they would be visiting and didn't know how to cook. Additionally, his mom mentioned there is no food at the house, so I decided to bake some loaves of bread from scratch so that we could at least have something to snack on and eat during breakfast and through the day. I also made extra for his brother and brother's GF to take home with them, cooking for 5 people one night, and then for 3 for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, snacks, etc. for 4 extra days was a lot of work, but I was really happy to be able to help. And whatever I cooked, my boyfriend helped clean, etc. It was a lot of work, but I was really happy to help, and I genuinely wanted to be there for my boyfriend and his family. However, some things that happened while I was there just left a bad taste for me, and I don't know how to get past this. Although my boyfriend helped with cleaning the dishes after dinner, something he said put me off. On the second day of our visit, I was just extremely tired. Cooking all day, being there for his mom, talking to her all day, etc. just exhausted me. Meanwhile, my boyfriend was just doing his own thing. He took a nap, cleaned the dishes after dinner, then went for a run. Later, when we watched a movie and his mom went upstairs, I asked him to just hug me and give me some affection. He said no and told me he just wanted to relax. Then when I asked him again, he nearly exploded and said that he's tired and told me to stop. Then he called me selfish for not letting him relax. I was extremely annoyed and asked him how he could call me selfish when I just took 4 days away from home, left my dogs with sitters, bought the groceries, cooked for his entire family, and spent every waking second talking to his mom. I said to him, how dare I want affection after just burning out from taking care of his entire family, including his brother's GF? Afterwards, we discussed the situation, and I told him his treatment of me was unacceptable. He realized he was in the wrong and came around. However, the fact this even happened has me on alert now. The other thing that has sent red flags is that my boyfriend and his mother did not offer to pay me back for the groceries I spent on this trip or to help cover the cost of the dogs. His mother gave us money to get groceries that she needed while we were there, which didn't even cover the cost of all the groceries. I decided to ask my BF if he would cover some of the groceries that I paid for to cook, and if he would cover half the cost of the dog sitters because I felt that this was just unfair to me. He complained about paying, and then said that he has already paid for the gas for this trip and said, "Why do I have to pay for the dog sitters? They're not my dogs." That comment just threw me off and I was annoyed because I never mentioned, "She's not my mom," when he asked me to help with his sick mother. He agreed to pay for part of the groceries and it took time but eventually gave in about the dogs as well. Still annoying though. During these 4 days, his mom expressed gratitude and kept saying she felt like she was in a restaurant with all the good food, that I'm so generous and hospitable, etc. But some other things she said just had me take a step back. First, at the end of our time there, she mentioned that she had the caretaker leave early, on the day my boyfriend and I were going to arrive at her house. The caretaker was originally supposed to stay a few more days to help with lunch and breakfast to take some load off of me, but since the caretaker left early, I also had to cover all of those meals. My BF's mom said the caretaker didn't cook her dinner, although that was the caretaker's job, and that she ended up having to prepare the dinners herself. This made me question why my BF's mom had me cooking so much then. It's also strange that while I was cooking and preparing all the food, my BF and his mother were sitting outside on the porch chatting. However, for the last dinner, she offered to help with some cooking, and for the previous dinners, she took the plates out. I just felt weird about the situation that still, she had the ability to cook before my boyfriend and I arrived at her house, but then stopped everything once we got there. Lastly, during our chat on one of the evenings, she mentioned that my boyfriend was interested in visiting Texas. I told her I wasn't too keen on moving to Texas, but it would be nice to visit, and her response was that she would hate for us to think about moving to Texas because of all the immigrants there. After she said that, I think she realized she made a mistake because she quickly changed topic and I could tell she regretted what she said, but I thought that comment was funny in general, especially given my family's background. Anyway, before we left, I left all of my cooking supplies at her house because she literally didn't have any food if I were to take what I brought. When we left, she said she was very thankful and that she appreciated everything. I texted her when we got home to wish her a full recovery ahead and to let us know if she needed anything else. She expressed her gratitude again and said she should be all better soon. Since then, she has not contacted me or anything. I feel like I've just needed space, so I haven't reached out either. I'm not sure why, but I've just been feeling weird about the situation. Maybe it was my boyfriend's reaction when we were there that made me feel set off by the situation. Maybe it was his mom, maybe both. I'm not trying to compare and I don't expect anything in return, which is why I feel bad for feeling weird about this whole situation. But I just know if my mom was in this situation and the roles were reversed, she would have offered to pay for the dogs, and she would have given us both money for the groceries we spent. She also would have sent a gift to express her gratitude for the help she received after the surgery, or she would have told me to take my boyfriend out to a nice dinner to say thank you. This has also made me wonder whether this is cultural. I may just be nitpicking now, but I feel like my BF's mother really just cares about her family, and not me, as it also reminds me of times when my BF was talking to his mom on the phone and she was on speaker without knowing. She would mention to my boyfriend that it's certainly a plus that I can cook well. Like, why that comment always irked me. Like, if it were my mom on the phone and roles were reversed, she would be asking me what I'm doing for my BF while he's cooking for me.